the right email on it.
Tyler Evans is absent.
No,
Eddie
have you
Lyons,
sent me off your
Randy
city
Borth.
laptop? Yeah.
Matt Plotnick is absent.
You couldn't find it.
And Jarrett and Don. Both
I
present.
seen it on
City.
your,
Start off for today's agenda. May claims.
got it in here someplace.
What's core and main, is that, that's the stuff at the pool?
That showed it on, 4th Street. And, gee,
Don, what is that? Corn meat?
actual.
Core and main was
outlines.
for water.
Okay.
Metal detector.
Okay.
Business grade.
I'll make a motion.
There you got the
From
line.
Julie, and I get a
I'll
second.
I'll second.
Second from
No,
Brendan.
that's-
All those
yeah.
in favor say aye.
Cause
Aye.
otherwise it's right there in
All those
that one
opposed, same sign.
on, where's,
Okay, approve April 13 regular council meeting minutes and April 27 special meeting minutes.
I just started having a piece of paper and they get like, well, you know, I was talking to Bundy about it too the other day. It's like, no, how to talk. Where it is. I can't find it.
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Larry, can I get a second?
605-366-8000.
What?
I
I'll make a
can- I'll-
second.
Okay,
I got it.
from Julie, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Move on to public time. Anybody from public want to speak? Okay, no one from public time. Fire department report?
Yeah, Monty Coogan here for
Then I
the
can
fire
finish my
department, and
printer and I'll print it
6
up in my
EMS
house,
calls
you
last
know.
month, 5
Print it-
fire
there it
calls,
goes.
1 EMS training, 1 fire training, and we did tornado siren testing. Siren did work, so thank you. One step closer.
Okay.
Any questions for us?
Thank you.
One thing with that, on the 18th, we'll be going, on that training that night, we'll be bringing the helicopter into town, so.
On Monday?
18th of this month,
next Monday?
you land on the helicopter right on. You guys hear it flying around or whatever, it's just a training.
Sounds good. Move on to Banner Associates, Weston Engineering Report.
Okay. The engineering report was pretty short this month. Really, the primary thing that we have to discuss is the 4th Street project. Today, we conducted the pre-construction meeting for the 4th Street project. The general contractor, along with their subcontractors, were in attendance, as well as some of the various agencies. So the DOT was in attendance, and then over Teams, which we hosted remotely, but over Teams, DANR was online. The community access grant coordinator was not in attendance, but we've been coordinating with that crew on the projected construction start date and other items that would need to be completed as part of the construction. Now, after the pre-construction meeting, we held a public open house. That was from 4:30 to 6:30. Few items that came up during the pre-construction meeting and some discussion at the open house was the usage of cold ready mix for the concrete supplier. CVC is the subcontractor underneath Double H Paving. And CVC, they're doing the concrete work. They've coordinated with East Concrete to provide the concrete for this project. They had asked if the city of Colton would request them to use Colton Ready Mix. Colton Ready Mix does not have fly ash. They don't have a means to add fly ash into their mix, and that would require a bin and require some other mechanical equipment to incorporate into the mix. Now, we can either require fly ash to be used in the mix, and the benefits are longevity of concrete, resistance to chlorides and degradation due to chloride pack. There's been various studies that have shown that fly ash is beneficial for concrete. It's a filler is what it is. So it's included as a cementitious adder into the concrete. Now, without that, and it's been used without that, obviously Colton Ready Mix operates plant here and they distribute concrete that doesn't have fly ash. If we were to give our professional opinion, Banner would suggest that you use a mix design that has fly ash. And I don't know if there's a strong opinion from the council.
So why do you use fly ash now?
You use the fly ash because it does provide some resistance to chloride attack. So it seals up the concrete to make it less penetrable for chlorides.
Less porous, in other words.
Yes, there's some other properties, chemical properties with fly ash that give it some benefit. In our general mix designs do call out for fly ash. And that is more so industry standard.
Because I don't have any.
No, I'm just mixed on it. You know, I'd like to keep the money local, but I understand if it's not the specs that are in the project as well.
We had gone through the same conversation with Second Street. We used some concrete on Second Street, so it meant the curb gutter, the fillets and the valley gutter across Charles.
South of it was cement plant.
And in that discussion, it was the same, that we thought that the benefits of fly ash in the mix outweighed the ability to use, a local plant. Okay. But we won't direct them otherwise. I mean, we'll let them use a supplier that they've chosen. Another item that came up, so the project will be starting May 18th, and that'll be on phase one. Phase one is Sherman Avenue it's in front of the post office, so the half a block from 4th Street South on Sherman. And they're anticipating that work will be done prior to June 1st. And after they've completed the surfacing work on phase one, they'll do the removals on 4th Street. And when they do the removals, they'll do complete removals of the roadway. They're gonna leave some sidewalk in place to assist with access to some of the businesses. But eventually that sidewalk will go, and that access will still need to be maintained. To any businesses that don't have rear access will have to have access maintained in front of the building. And then the post office will need to have access maintained at all times during business hours. And once the contractor moves into phase two, and anticipating June 1st, all the lights will be taken out on 4th Street. So the only lighting will be whatever lighting that buildings would have. It might be a little darker than it is now, but there won't be any traffic on the roadway. There'll just be lighting for pedestrians. Sorry. Garrett, was there another item that we've discussed during our pre-con that we're gonna cover with council?
The bi-weekly meetings will be Fridays. every other Friday at 9 at City Hall. You guys are more than welcome to them. And then, we talked about the bi-weekly payments
There we go.
instead of monthly.
Yep. The DOT, they'll pay on a bi-weekly, basis, so the contractor would be allowed to submit requests for payment bi-weekly. Now, the council only meets monthly, so approval for payment would only be, at this time with that current schedule, would only be able to be approved monthly. So really, there wouldn't be much of a reason to do bi-weekly pay requests if we're only gonna meet monthly to do the approvals. Would the city have any interest in doing special meetings to allow for those bi-weekly payments to take place?
I think if that's something that the contractor is really looking for. Issue.
Monty had a point, the city of Coleman did the same thing. They'd meet like on a Thursday or Friday at 7 AM and just do like a 10-minute meeting.
Yeah.
Enough to cover the pay
Yeah, no, I don't
request
think
or
so.
whatever we need to talk
Yeah, we
about.
won't put any more on their agenda than that.
So it wouldn't have to be a night, it could be a morning thing,
Mhm.
whatever works for the council. But
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that.
Good.
You just figure out when the,
The first payment application will be at your regular June meeting. That's what we've discussed at
are
this.
they,
at this
so they're thinking that their pay request is gonna come every Monday then?
Well, it would be, we can schedule.
Or
it to
every
be
other Monday,
approved,
sorry.
But yeah, it would generally be every other Monday. If it would then happen to be, it wouldn't have to be Monday.
No, I'm just asking if
Right.
if they're gonna put their pay request. I'm sure they're gonna have a deadline for their contractor to put their pay request in it. That's gonna be, if they have your pay request on Friday, we need it approved on a Monday, we can do that, or if it's have it in by Monday and request, however long it takes them to prepare it.
It may end up being a little bit fluid, just because if we do June 8th for the first one, then you got your regular meeting. And then, instead of waiting the 4 weeks or whatever it would work out to be until that July meeting, if we then did one in between, so at 2 or 3 weeks, whatever made the most sense for the contractor to be able to get enough work in to make sense that they want to issue payment to subcontractors.
So you're talking about every other week.
It may not end up being every other week because of the fact that your council meeting would end up being on the 5th week, maybe not the 4th week. I don't know how that works out. In July,
next month is the 8th.
Monday's what?
The 8th,
The 8th for June.
Your next meeting.
So that's on the
we
first.
have to,
on the first pay.
So tentatively, the 8th and the 22nd.
it'd be the 8th to 22nd, and then instead of July 6th, it would then be July 13th would be your first meeting in July.
Yeah, I think we can make it work. Well, we can be flexible too. It'd just be nice just to know generally where it
Yep.
is, so we're not trying to have council all scheduled up last minute, to get there.
And they may, just depending on how work is going. They may only need, potentially one more bi-weekly payment because they're planning on being completed in August. So then there'd be 2 payments in June, 2 payments in July, 1 payment in August, and that next one wouldn't happen until the September meeting. We're talking probably 2 special meetings to allow for bi-weekly payments.
There's always be with that. Like I said, I can always show up at City Hall and we can do the teams meeting over there too, stuff like that.
And then one other item, so the bids that were received, they were well below the estimated, or the anticipated cost of the project. And so that does result in some savings for the city. It can be to realize the savings, or if there's a potential to do some additional work on the project to expend those additional funds. So
We're gonna have to refigured that utility bill, though, aren't we, with this number? Because we already started rebilling, figuring 1.9. All our numbers in it.
And I think you'd probably wait until the project was completed.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
once completed, you could, general help with that, help, determine what that rate needs to be for you guys to repay the loan that was taken out by the state. Some of the preliminary discussion was extending, right now, we're doing half the roadway, between Dakota and Minnesota. It's kind of halfway between Dakota and Minnesota, but we switched from full roadway replacement to half the roadway, just replacing that north side over top of the water main. We had talked during design to reconstruct the Minnesota intersection on the south side as well. But when we were talking through the budget, it was decided at this time we wouldn't include that into the contract. There is an opportunity now to include that other half of the roadway into the project, knowing that there's some available funds that could be used to pay for it.
Yeah, DOT's okay. Or we can be the community access grant.
It'd be the community access grant that would be used to.
So if you had to dig down the other side of the street, get down to where that gunk is or whatever that stuff that got taken out of there. But you have to get down and get some of that out of there, which is just,
Yeah, they do the same type of, treatment to the soil cement treatment that they're doing on the remainder of the road. So they do their, removals of the surface, unclassified excavation, where they dig down, generally about a foot to 18 inches. And then they'll amend that soil with cement powder and reinforce the subgrade with the cement treatment.
They just treat it like the rest of the project. We just square it off.
And it would include the sidewalk on the south side of the street as well.
So we replace it anyways too.
I don't have a cost estimate. We did have a cost at the time. I didn't bring it with me.
Okay.
But we had talked through that during that discussion, so we've already prepared that cost. And that was an estimated cost. Now that we've got, actual bid costs or bid prices, we would take that estimate.
Okay.
Is that something the city would be
I would
interested in?
think we should look at,
Yeah.
I just want to think, hoping I didn't like hook, line, and sinker now that we're in the project and make up some funds. That's little bids, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because now we're stuck with. Now they don't really have hard bid. That'd be my only concern.
Yeah, and we would use their unit prices, so we wouldn't get any new prices for the work. We've talked to Double H about it already.
I didn't know if it'd be a change order.
They had stated that they wouldn't expect any additional fee to do that work outside of using the unit prices that they bid on the project.
that's only.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was competitively bid. It's completely legal for the city to add that work on. It still falls within the state bid laws to do that.
I think most council would probably rather entertain squaring that off than.
I think you have a better project with, instead of having half a road that's old, half a road that's brand new, you got a whole.
You had the public input meeting, there was public that asked that question, are you gonna do the whole street? And you said, no.
Yeah. What's
Question,
6 months
why?
ago? 6 months ago we had it.
So we told them it was money, and, so I think they'd be happy to know that you're gonna find a way to complete it. So,
Yeah. And then with remaining funds, there will likely be some funds remaining for the water as well. Because the project did come in lower than expected. We're gonna be able to utilize more of the DOT funds to cover the surfacing costs, which we're anticipating the utility funds would have to cover that surfacing. So that it does free up some utility funds as far as water funds. So it's something for the city to consider. If there was any additional work that the city wanted to do, we'd have to reach out to DANR and verify that that would be acceptable because of the scope that was submitted for the funding was just on Fourth Street. And it had only extended from the water tower to Charles. So they may require an amendment to that scope of work.
What are we looking at additional funds on that right now?
Was it 400,000?
Yeah, somewhere around
400.
400. But we'll use up some of that by going through the Minnesota intersection. I guess other things with Fourth Street. I think the other comment we had, Jody Berger, she had stopped in and said that they're doing some work on their building on Main Street at Sherman and Fourth. And, they were just curious how much coordination they'd have to have with the contractor. They did ask to get the concrete contractor's number to replace the sidewalk along the west side of the building. So I don't know if they'll be doing that work or not, but I want to understand they'll be reaching out to them. Jared, was there?
The geotech.
Oh, thank you. We've got two items, geotech and electrical. First with geotech, so right now on the DOT portion of work, geotech engineering is underneath Banner Associates to perform the testing for everything that's the sidewalk or the curb and gutter. For the utilities and the roadway, we don't have a contract with geotech yet. That'd be something that we'd have to get in place, and that would be underneath the city. In other cases, we put that underneath the contractor, and the contractor would hire the geotech, and the city then pays those bills to the contractor. As part of the DOT project, the DOT had requested that the city hire their own geotech. And so that would be doing the soil testing for the trenches, the soil cement design for the roadway, and then the base course compaction testing. What I would do is reach out to geotech and get their proposal. And that would then go in front of the city for approval. So I don't have those costs yet, but that'll be another cost that is assumed in the funding or, was anticipated in the funding and will be eligible for reimbursement through the funding.
So that's included in the original price.
It's
That's gonna be extra.
It's included in the overall package, the overall funding package.
Okay.
It'll be extra on top of your price that you're gonna pay double H. Electrical. Justin was here this afternoon attending the pre-con meeting. We had a discussion with him. He'll be preparing the proposal for the electrical light poles. And I believe his proposal will include the removal of the existing light poles, installation of new conduit and wiring, and then installation of the light poles. From what I understand, the city will be purchasing the light poles separately.
Yep. Is he gonna coordinate with the concrete contractor then to put footings on that, or is he responsible for those?
He'll be installing the footings.
Okay.
And we did talk about that. It was a little bit uncertain at what point in the construction process he installed footings. It was after the utilities are completed, but likely after some of the roadway shaping is done, but prior to the cement stabilization.
Will that take very long to get the geotech? Will we have it next meeting?
The proposal? Yes. Geotech will likely be needed on the project prior to that. Banner already has a contract with Geotech, so there are some things that Geotech could do underneath that contract. But we do need to get this other contract in place
Okay.
as soon as we can.
Do you want a
There's-
special meeting for that, or do you want to take the responsibility and tell the next meeting? What's your feeling on that?
I-
don't feel like-
Yeah. I'd like to reach out to them and find out when they can get us the proposal. And then I can reach out to Dawn and Trevor. And make that determination whether we need to have that special meeting or not. Because I've done it two ways in the past. I've hired it through Banner in the past, to where it's a pass-through on Banner's contract. But it does work better if it's separated from Banner's contract, because it tracks better with the funding agencies. Because then that's a separate bill that the city's getting, and you can, submit that for reimbursement. Otherwise, I've got to do some different breakouts on our end.
Yeah.
With that, I think that covers everything on Fourth Street unless there's other questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for putting on the open house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was well attended. There was a number of the contractors here, and we had quite a few online.
Very good. Any questions from public from Brandon?
Sit here anyway, I'm just in the way. Yeah, I just wanted to hear what was going on.
All right, we'll move on. Anything else then? Question?
All right. Is there any other city business that I need to?
And Sandman? Fine.
Like, help them. And then we'll just leave the refreshments, because I don't know what I do with them, so we can split them up and leave.
We can go put them in the fridge at City Hall.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Move on to the county sheriff's monthly
Smile.
hours and calls.
Yeah, that's enough. Wow.
Yeah, I'm good here.
Review of annual drinking water report.
The water quality.
Sure. Oh, is that hard?
Yeah.
Okay. This is open has supplied 14 consecutive years of safe drinking water to the public and it serves and has been awarded the Secretary Award of Drinking Water Excellence by the South Dakota Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources. This report is a snapshot of the quality of the water that we provided last year, including the details about where your water comes from, what it contains, and how it compares to the Environment Protection Agency EPA state standards. We are committed to providing you with information because informed customers are our best ally.
And then water report will be published.
Okay. Good.
Say, I figured you had.
Well, Pete, looks like you get some couple of awards here, huh?
Yeah.
Presentation of Secretary Award and Certificate of Achievement. Thank you, Jared Peterson, 14 years of excellence in making safe drinking water for our community.
Oh, my goodness.
Thanks.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our Parks and Rec report. Hopefully we'll only do first. Season passes and swim lessons are available through the member splash. Already have signing so far. One thing we are looking, community care center. Last year they were utilizing the bus. Moved back with her. One concern is parents who've been wanting the children back before 4:45, because it just makes it hard for them to get ready for baseball, dinner, and all that. Fall, put a survey out on Crooks Peeps to ask, you know, do they want their children back by 4 or 4:45, or either or, it doesn't matter. I think my last check was like around 40, said they want them back by 4, so I think we'll change the bus time. That they'll be back in Crooks by 4 o'clock. But that being said, the Crooks Community Center said they have 60 grade school children that might be using their buses. So needs to be busy.
That's good.
Yep.
So.
2 days a week or 3 days? 2 days a week, and then Baltic will be coming the following. And then Friday is just open. We provide swim lessons. Brooks Community Center, our child care center, said she's been pushing the parents to use Colton for swim lessons. They last year, they brought some up here and then brought some to Sioux Falls, and she said she'd just rather run them all up here. So I think what they're looking at doing different is running the littler kids last and the older kids first, because that they spent most of their time trying to get the little kids in the water when it was cold out, so and actually swim. Anybody got any questions on the pool?
Or, yeah, or just got it cleaned out right now, but I gotta power wash it down yet, and then we're waiting on that pool company to come in and do some repairs or whatever.
I'll have Amber get in contact with you probably tomorrow. I think there's some stuff that they need to order, some safety equipment yet still. I think one of the red tubes has a crack in it. Did you order for it? Okay. And then they also talked about maybe wanting a basketball hoop back up there again. But they like using it as a reward and punishment.
I have to order a new.
Yeah, they said they knew.
Thing is,
We're looking at, I wonder if we can look at one that we can mount in the side and we can pull it back out. You know what I mean?
just, I put a mud flap on it with, before it's sitting there rubbing on the concrete, just
Thanks,
wore a
Wes.
hole,
Yeah.
wore a hole in the bottom,
Yeah.
and it held water. If we can look into. So,
Yeah, if you want to, back on Sam's Club first, because we got like, so like $380 of Sam's cash on there. But, you know, pretty much just be free, you know. Okay, moving on, campsites can be reserved through City Hall at $20 a day. No, Larry was just asking me if there's any way we can put 2 more campsites up there. I don't know if we can. Pretty limited.
yeah, we'd have to take
3
out
people
trees
asked
or
me.
something.
Put any more up there, knowing that Monty's gonna do that over there, but they thought we should be able to have 2 more up there.
We have the room for it.
One thing to be mindful is parking too. Take all our parking spots off.
Right.
But maybe we can go up there one, just see if we can't get it.
Sure.
Pavilion can be reserved as well at no cost. We want to look at in numbers or putting up that other shelter that we talked about.
Yeah, I think we got the rafters, so we just won't do it this fall, probably.
Yeah. Or we want to maybe put some numbers in the lumberyard together. See if I can help, we can just quick throw it up and see what our cost is gonna be to put it up.
So you'd have like 4x4s or 6x6s or 4x6.
We can probably get away by 4x4, I mean, depends on,
4x6 maybe.
yeah. Just a couple headers,
You know, could have wood
just if we can.
every foot or whatever.
But depending on what size header we go, I mean, figure out how many were there.
There's 8 or 9 or something, have to count them again.
Yeah, maybe it was 16 foot altogether.
I think it was gonna be 16 or 18 why. or
So you'd have to go,
long, or-
if they're 16, you would
18,
go and just make it
across.
easy, go 8 foot. You know? Let's just look at, can we get some tin and a couple headers and 2 by 4s and concrete? You know, we can build it together or whatever, so.
Yeah, that'd be too hard.
Okay. Finance off the upcoming meetings and important dates. Zoom training, May 13th, Banyan Governmental Accounting. Is that what it's above or?
No, that's just in my office.
Okay,
If I
minis-
don't answer the phone, then that would be wise.
okay. Municipality notice of vacancy publication.
I worked with Patrick to try to figure out which would get us back on the 2 per year schedule for alderman vacancies, and we figured this was the best.
Okay. Good,
We're
just-
going through everything and trying to figure out where it had gone out to where there was 3 in an
vacancies.
election year, so.
Cause isn't it one ward is gonna be the same, you know, or we have
One
to,
word will be 1 term
we have to
or
figure
1
it out.
year, yeah,
We have to figure out who it's gonna be.
yeah. And
Do
so
that.
it's not, yeah. Ward 2 will be a 1-year term, and then it'll be back on that same rotation where it's. But then there's 2 every year instead of, and do we want to keep our terms out there, 3-year terms? Because we can.
We can't keep that.
We can't keep it. If we want to do it with the county, then we would have to do resolution or like the ordinance to change it to where it's every 2 years. Then we'd have to extend the terms.
Thoughts on that? Where you're, well, what were your, well, you'd be stuck at 4. But every 2 years it'd be somebody changing. Or we do it every 3, and then we lose 2 every 3 years, right? What do you get thoughts? Or 4? I'll leave it alone. Let him. Or you want full council and decide?
We have a little time to decide that.
Okay.
This year's election, it would just be this way. And then
Yeah, we'll just. Next meeting, we'll discuss that one.
Okay.
Yes. Only one way out. Teams meeting for SS 4A.
the Safe Streets for All.
What's that?
That's a Teams meeting too, the Safe Streets for All. And I, for some reason, I'm not in their email loop, so I don't actually know what's going on.
I got one, it was a brand in here.
This is just like on the computer.
Yeah.
What are they trying to do, just like the proper signage and stuff, or?
Oh, signage, if there need to improve sidewalks, create crosswalk areas. Just making sure the citizens have safe streets to walk along. Like a grant. Haven't started discussing costs. locally, so.
What time of day is that one?
It's usually in the morning before lunch. I'll look on my computer. It just pops up and reminds me to
Yeah.
join.
City Hall will be closed May 25th. Okay. Anybody have anything for Don? Dates that City Hall will be closed or anything like that? Motion to approve 2026 through 2027 malt beverage application for Classic Corner.
You want to do them together or
We,
separate?
we can listen to them separate.
Okay,
You get a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
Motion from Brendan,
I'll second it.
second from Larry, to roll. call. Larry,
Yes.
Julie,
yes,
Brendan.
Yes.
Motion to approve 2026 malt beverage application for Dollar General. Can you motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Julie. Second.
I'll second.
Okay, from Brennan, roll call. Larry,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes,
and Brendan.
Yeah.
Motion for designation of applicant agent. Would it be easier just to have you, Julie, or Don? Or do you need, Don?
You-
That's Dave Hudson.
Like you,
Me?
I
Okay.
think that's who Sean put.
That's fine. I have a problem. Issue with me being an applicant for Rick Grant.
Make a motion.
Larry, second.
I'll second.
From Julie. Roll call. Larry?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes,
Yeah.
Rick Grant, motion to approve resolution number 826, appointment of applicant agent. This one out, you.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the city of Fulton is interested in submitting a funding application for HMGP or RIC funding program for a flood diversion project to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the State of South Dakota Office of Emergency Management, SDOEM. And whereas the city of Fulton is required to appoint an applicant for the purpose of signing documents and assuring completion of all application documents, and whereas the government board of the city of Fulton appoints mayor of Fulton, Trevor Bundy, as applicant agent, hereby authorized to execute for and on behalf of the city of Fulton. Whereas the city of Fulton, a public entity established under the law of the state of South Dakota, authorized the submittal of this application to file it with SDOEM for the purpose of obtaining federal financial assistance under the Disaster Relief Act, Public Law 93-288, as amended or otherwise available from the President Disaster Relief Fund. Now therefore, it will be resolved that the city of Fulton appoints Trevor Bundy, mayor of Fulton, as the authorized applicant agent.
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Julie,
I'll second it.
second from Larry. Larry,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes,
Brennan.
Yes.
Want me to sign that one, John?
Oh,
Or you
yeah,
got it
well,
all over there? Okay. Second reading of ordinance number 326, motion to approve rezoning property R1 to GV, general business. On this one, now I can get a motion to approve this one. Last time, right?
Make a motion.
Motion from Brendan. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Larry. Roll call vote, Larry,
Yes.
Julie,
yes.
Brendan.
Yes.
Got one question.
What did, where, oh, okay.
Is there a list of restrictions that general business does cover, or you have to have conditional use on? My concern would be is if like another council 10 years from now.
Which we can put a conditional use permit on there, so we can
Okay.
put a term limit on it too.
I mean, general business is just kind of a wide open canvas at this point.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure
I don't-
we don't start off wrong.
No, I don't think it's a bad idea. We can, well, now it's formed to general business. I think we can put a conditional use permit on there. If you feel more comfortable having that on there.
I just don't want to be wrong. Like, you start doing something and then find details later on.
And
Mhm.
the information that I got was that general business covers more than just like a light industrial or heavy industrial.
Yeah.
Place. That's more open.
Sure.
To do more things.
I'm just asking your recommendation if we need to look further into that. I'm just trying to cover for later councils that. may
Well, I
prefer
think
to-
if you do it in the camping, we're gonna want something, because it's gonna be a few things like, one, you're not gonna supply water to it, which will make that a requirement that you don't have to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing that we would maybe form a conditional use permit on the do's and don'ts and what doesn't need to happen, and what does need to happen.
I guess the only thing I think about it is, it's not gonna be permanent camp. Or permanent triggers.
Right.
It's gonna be,
Not long-term camping.
it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, maybe a week, that's it.
Yeah, I
Because it
expect
won't
short
be-
term.
They're not gonna carry it over through the winter. So now we got another trailer park in town, that would be my concern.
I'm the last guy that wants
Well,
to.
I know that, but somebody down the road might wanna say, well,
Yeah, I
can I
agree.
just leave my camper here year round?
Yeah,
Well, that'll be a no.
Which we can, I think we can put that all in there. Short-term camping, we can put a term on it where it's 1 month and. So,
sure.
needs to be removed and. Okay,
Thank you.
no, thanks. Motion to approve abatement. Assessment trees from the elderly and disabled.
With the 3 people involved in this, but,
No, just one on this one. That's the people from the county that approved it.
Yes, we'll never know that.
no, we need a motion on it?
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Larry,
What are you doing?
it's one property that asked for, they're not getting for the net for the tax.
Oh, okay.
Second,
I can second. I'll second.
Julie, roll call. Larry,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Brendan. You can say no. You can be it. We don't all have to agree.
May 13th, the sweeper will be in town.
Okay.
And then South Dakota Association of Rural Water was in town and they did all the mapping for the curb stops.
Uh-huh.
Water main, valves, and the sewer main. So they're working on their mapping right now. So that was a free service that they did for us. Apparently they need some community service hours, so they just used us to do it, so, which is good. There was like 10 or 11 curb stops that we couldn't find. Out of it, all, the whole town. Pretty good. I thought we'd be more than that, but. It was a
Nice to meet
time
you.
consuming, going out, everyone.
Well, that's nice to know now,
Well, a master map of that.
so.
We might, Weston and I have been talking about it a little bit, we might take it to the next level where they can go out and with their, whatever they call it, they can get a coordinates of all of them, so that you don't know where it is, you can use the GPS coordinates too, so. Something that Weston we might do, yeah. That way if it's under the snow or whatever, you can
Yeah,
just
not
walk
digging.
right up to it, know where to dig.
You know,
What, is that a charge he's gonna do that for?
That would probably cost us some money to do that, but this service here was for free, so.
You did most of the legwork.
Yeah, like 9%.
That all in blue.
Yep.
Brandon?
Um,
All in favor?
I know.
Same sign.
Oh, no, can find that stuff, Dawn?
Oh, I do have them here.
Oh, you have them here?
Pulse point. No, no, it's fine.
Oh,
Yes, that's from there.
didn't know that's a fire. Oh, yeah. Because it was not emergency. It was cold, yeah, it was cold. So I thought about this, when we went to the fire down at that same time I did, told me to go to 253. Yes. The cop told me, call me. I don't think you get it. I mean, just think of that. Then everybody's gone the wrong way, then go around, and come on, so. It's got you. In direction, 53. Nobody had answered, they wouldn't pass out. You know where you're at? Well, then. Turn around.
Oh, can I put the whole package out with my close to there?
The both. Oh. I didn't know they were coming. So. It's called. I read the whole way through, it's read the address, emergency. Don't know. We never heard of it. Like,
Like even if, you know, say some. We all have, we're all gonna be working.
Yeah.
Go back to the table or anything?
We just gotta do it.
Pete, what do we have to clean up here?
What do you guys do? Oh, we just gotta take our stairs up. This cable gets folded up, so. We're good. There's a cable on it. The kids. They don't problem. Kids are baseball game. Watch fight.
I'll make it say that.
Watch them from home then.
Yeah, I go to bed.
They don't go on the table feet, they go back in the rack. No, they go on the table, just these ones up front. Go on.
Okay.
I thought you guys had a water. Water. I'll leave it. Water's on here.
You want anything loaded in your vehicle?
That's smart.
Bring the.
I'm walking back home, but I'm.
No, yeah, please. Oh. Oh, I forgot to stop the recording.